What's up, Natalie? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Come on in. Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the sit down. This is now episode 16, and I'm here with a new friend, actually, somebody that I had just met, literally 20 minutes before this time we got on camera here.
Yes.
But that's kind of the epitome of the whole channel, right? It's to bring people on that you meet that have something they want to talk about. And this is my friend now, Natalie.
Hi.
She's a little camera shy. We're gonna warm her up a little bit. But let's dive right in. So I know when we had first started talking about you coming on the show, right? We had landed on a topic that hits home for both of us, and I think it's very interesting, right? Because everybody knows it, everybody's heard of it. I imagine that most people have been a part of one at some point in time. It's MLMs, multi-level marketing. And for you, Natalie, kind of explain give us the backstory, right? Before, like when you first got exposed, to your version of an MLM, and you don't have to specify what it is. I feel like that's probably safer for both of us. But kind of give me the backstory in terms of how you first got introduced and like kind of what your initial thoughts were.
I mean, it's kind of like everybody, you see it on social media, especially on Instagram. You see somebody just start posting about a specific product,
right? And
then they don't stop talking about it. You see it every day because you see this person's story, and then they keep sending you messages because that's what their job entails. They have to send you messages. They have to tell you about what they're doing. And I was also at that moment in time looking for something for my hair, which I'm probably already giving it out, but it is. But I was looking at that moment for something for my hair. I kind of did my research, but I wasn't fully believing in it. Also because the person that was talking about it was somebody that I've known for over 15 years.
Gotcha.
So in my head, that's a credible source. And if she's doing it, she's using it, she's selling it, then she knows what she's talking about.
Right, it's got to be value.
Exactly. So I actually started using it. I bought it from her, and I actually did fall in love with the product. The product itself does work. Maybe it does not work for everybody, but at least for me, it did. So I started using it. I was probably her best customer because I was just buying pretty much everything that they would have. And also, she would talk about it more, like she would talk about any new products. I wanted to try it. At that moment, I wasn't even thinking how much I was really spending on this. I just wanted to try the new things. And I even got my mom a little bit involved in it. Like, oh my God, you have to try this. It's so good. And let's fast forward like a year and 9 months of me using the products. Another friend gets under the person that I was buying from. So after that person that I was buying from, like, she tried to get me into doing this for probably 6 months, and I kept saying no. So when this new friend gets in it, she tells me, you really have to do this, and we have so much fun. We go on brunches, we go on lunch, we go out to dinner, like, we do photos. I don't like pictures, but I was like, yeah, whatever. And in a way, also, she kind of made me feel bad about her because she was like, you could be like the first person that I signed up. Like, I've been doing this for like 2 months and nothing has happened for me. So I was like, all right. And she was like, you already love the product. You're going to be so good at this. So I was just like, okay, let's do this then. Like, I gave her a time frame. I was like, I am not going to spend, I'm not going to use my credit card. I am not going to ask my mom for the money. So I gave her a time frame. It's like, look, on this week specifically, I get paid, text me that day, and we'll do this. Just exactly like that. She texted me on that day, I started doing it. And just from the get-go, the moment that I paid for that, it was watching videos non-stop about any type of training, that all videos said the exact same thing, and every single video was like an hour and a half long. So kind of like my first homework was I signed up on a Wednesday. For that weekend, I had to watch like 6 videos that she kept sending me on. Yes. And they were all about like the same thing, but from different people in the MLM.
Right.
That they were already at the top, and they were like kind of like telling you how you can make money, but they all said the same thing. And then I got introduced into the group chats. There was 4 group chats plus 2. There was 4 group chats on Telegram. If some people don't know what Telegram is, it's kind of like the new WhatsApp, but for like larger groups of
Gotcha.
people. And then I was in 2 other group chats, but on text message.
Oh,
So I was on 5 different group chats.
that sounds like fun.
I hate group chats. I don't even have a group chat with my family, let's just put it that way.
I don't either.
So I hate them, don't text me.
Mm-mm.
So I got introduced in it, and I never knew what toxic positivity was until I got in there.
Toxic positivity.
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Pretty much is people that are already praising you without even knowing you. I got introduced into a group chat that had like over 100 girls, and all right away were like, welcome babe, you're gonna do so good, like you're in the best hands possible, you're in the best thing, we're all here to support you, you're so beautiful and you're gonna do great. Like, how do you know I'm gonna do great? You haven't even met me.
Mm.
But at the same time, it does feel good to have people kind of like praising you
Right.
in a way
Of course.
when you haven't even done anything. So yeah, the first week it was fine. Of course, the messages can stop. And then you have people also on the West Coast, so they're non-stopping.
Oh no.
So they're non-stop. And every day it's like, good morning, what are you guys doing? What are you doing today? And if by any chance I was not responding to any of the messages,
They would hit you up.
my outline will be like, why you haven't said good morning? Why you haven't said good night? Like, you know, somebody's asking, what are you doing? What are you working on today? And I'm like, chill, you know, like I'm at work. I cannot pay attention to this right now.
Right.
And they're like, oh, but like, let me know if you need any help. Also, remember, when you get out of work, you can work on content for the next day. So sometimes I just wouldn't answer to her, and at times I would try to do it, but it was exhausting. I really now get a sense of like what people really do for content on any platform, and it is exhausting.
Mm.
It does take time. It takes a few hours of your day. Like,
Right.
if you do something simple, it takes like an hour. And that was another thing that I didn't like, because they wanted me to actually buy all these apps. And I'm like, I don't even use that. I don't use that on a regular basis, but I have
Now
to buy
apps for
it.
what? To create
Yes.
content?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to buy the apps because that you needed to create something different, which is not even that different. You can honestly get everything that they post on IG, on Facebook. You can find it on Pinterest. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Everything is on Pinterest. You can just screenshot it and shoot it out there. It's going to be like, and they all have the same template, so it's the same thing.
Right.
And also they share those pictures on the chats to post. It's like, oh, you can create content. They all share the same thing. So whatever you see on somebody that is specifically selling that, you're gonna see it on like 20 different other pages. It's the same thing. I noticed that I was really good at selling without even trying.
Interesting.
Like I said, I got signed up on that Wednesday. The first person that I was able to sign up to sell to, I got it 2 days later. I got it on a Friday.
Nice.
And then I got somebody else that Monday. And then the week after that, I actually was able to convince my mom to sign up under me. So I have my mom signing up under me. So and that's another thing that about the toxic positivity. Because everything that you do that is good, that like you're doing it right, they will talk about it in the chats, and they will all say how awesome you were. It's like, oh my god, you're doing so great. Oh my god, you're doing so
You think it was
great.
like too much?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, because I mean, usually you do get praise, like especially if you go to school, like if you get an A, yeah, like your parents are gonna be like, good
Sure.
job, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's your job. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing,
Right.
regardless. You shouldn't be expecting praise over something that you're supposed to be doing. So it just started to become too much, and then you had to be active on the chat, which was also a little bit too much. I work a 9 to 5. It's a job that sometimes requires way too much of my attention, where I don't really pay attention to my phone at times. But I do have an Apple Watch, and if you do have one, that thing vibrates whenever you get anything.
Non-stop.
So
Whoa.
I actually had to take off the watch at times, because I'm like, I can't keep feeling this thing on my hand, like vibrating non-stop.
That's
And then when
crazy.
I would go see it was because they were talking about a new product launch. Or another thing, whenever they wanted to introduce someone into the chat, they would send like 200 messages with just like flash alerts. And they were expecting for people to say, wait, I'm here, tell me what it is. And it's like, no, come on, we have 100 girls on this chat and only 2 people have answered to me. Where is everybody? So it's like, just say whatever you want to say, like we'll read it later. And then sometimes I will go into the chat and I will see that I had like over 350 messages that I haven't read.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm not going to read these. Like I would just like scroll over down, like whatever. And then my offline would ask me, it's like, oh, you saw what they posted, you saw about this. And it's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, it was cool. It was great. Then the best part of it started when the whole trainings were happening. And the trainings were sent also into the chats. And there's Zoom calls. There's probably like 6, 7, almost 10 Zoom calls happening daily.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yes.
That's a lot.
And it's the same thing. Like I would understand if they're gonna show you something different, but it's the same thing that they tell you. So my online.
What do they tell you? What is that kind of thing that they say? What is that? What do they tell you?
Pretty much is it can go something from, if I did it, you can do it, or if your business is not growing, it's because you're sucking, you're not working hard enough. Like if you have been working on a certain market partner to sign up and they haven't done it, it's because you haven't created enough urgency for them to sign up. Or if they say, like for example, like one of their excuses is always like, oh, I don't have money. If the person that you're trying to sign up, and I heard this on a call one day actually, and it made me mad, because the person that was doing the training is one of the tippity top at the whole company, and she told everybody, it's like, if the person that you're trying to sign up is not resourceful enough to get the money to start their own business, that's not people that you want in your team, that's not people that you even want in your life. So in a way I started thinking, it's like, okay, who are you to tell me who shouldn't be in my life according to this? Like I have to be understanding that if somebody's telling me that they don't have the money, I have to hear them and understand that they don't have the money. I had it at that moment, and that's why I was able to sign up.
Right.
But some people have said that they open credit cards in order to join. That some people skip payments on their car, on their cell phone, in order to join. So you have to be able to hear people. Like you can't just be, oh, they don't have the money, you suck, they're not even gonna be good at this because you're not being resourceful right now. You don't know what that money goes towards.
Sure.
And if they can afford it, they can afford it at the moment. And so that was one thing that I would hear in the calls. Another thing that I would hear is, if the people that are around you don't support you, you don't need that negativity in your life. And that's why you see a lot of these people that are only friends are people that are in the business. They are not friends with anybody outside of it.
Right.
Even partners, they would straight up say, if your boyfriend or girlfriend is not supporting you, that's somebody that you don't need, because they're not going to support you in anything in life.
That's funny. I actually heard that too. I heard a lot of what you said too. You know, and it's kind of crazy, you know, because like to hear it from a different perspective, it really kind of makes you think like, like that's kind of aggressive, right? And like for me, you know, I got pretty lucky because like for me, I first got introduced to the whole thing. I was just at Walmart. This Walmart right over here actually, and like, I don't even like Walmart, so I wasn't even supposed to be there. I meant to stop at Publix to get some milk, but I forgot. So I was like, gotta go to Walmart. Okay, so I had like 2 gallons of milk in my hands, and like this guy, now a friend of mine, Kenny, shout out to Kenny, stops me, and the whole, it all started, and I'm not gonna really talk about what was said, but it was cool, because there was a lot of mentorship from me, and that's really the only reason why I joined, because I like the atmosphere, I like the mentorship part of it, and I feel like I learned a lot, right, from a lot of the people. I learned a lot of principles, right? I learned a lot of mentality, right? That I still use to this day. Like all those books that are underneath that camera are all stuff that I bought because of the people that are around me then. And, I think it's kind of interesting because like for me, I just didn't feel comfortable, and we kind of talked about this, right? I didn't feel comfortable spending a ton of time on somebody just to really kind of get shit on, for lack of better terminology. Like, I refused to do that, and that was something that I realized. Like, I was like, that whole thing, oh, if your business isn't growing, you're not working hard enough. That's straight bullshit, because I busted my ass. Like, I was out till like midnight, 7 days a week, like working this thing, and there was definitely some points of growth and things like that. But the problem is that, okay, you can do that, and like we talked about off camera, there's no pay there. There's no pay off, right? It's like, still, even if a person signs up or decides to kind of create their own business, it's like, they're not going to stick around. Like, they're not going to stick around. Like, let's just be real. And it's like, for me, like, number one, I don't like to talk to people. And I definitely like to talk to strangers and act like I know them from somewhere, or, oh, that's a really nice shirt, even though your shirt is hideous, or, oh, those are really nice shoes, even though your shoes suck. Like just like creating those conversations was just so not me. And it's like, for me, it was just what it takes. It does work. I've met many people that are very successful, and kudos to them, and I love that, right? Keep doing your thing. But like for me, it was just like, I hated every single second of it. Even when I was at like the peak of where I was, like business wise, I hated every single second of it. It was never fun. I never enjoyed it. And a lot of things in life aren't fun, but if you're miserable and you're not seeing any kind of payoff, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. And it's like, I'm still in actually, which is kind of funny.
Me too.
I'm actually still in, and it's like, because at the very least, I'll still support like my uplines and things like that, because I do care about them. They did provide a lot for me, right? They did spend a lot of time on me, and I'll never take that for granted. I have a lot of really great memories, with them. It's just for me, I just didn't see the vision in it for me. And it's like, for me at least, like I'm very internally motivated. Like I don't need people to pat me on my back. I don't need people to tell me, hey, you're doing a great job. No, I kind of suck today, but and so for me, if I wasn't motivated, if I wasn't internally driven to do what it takes to do that, then it was never going to happen to begin with. And I tried to muscle it for like a year and a half, and I was just like, nah, this just ain't for me. And like you had said, Nataly, there's so much like time that you invest in it, like 130 messages to check. Like, bro, I'm not reading 130 messages. I'm sorry. I don't care. And like everybody like posting their activity, talking about all the stuff they did. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care what you did today. I don't care what you're gonna do tomorrow.
It's not my problem.
Right. It's like, it's kind of messed up for me to say that, but that's kind of always like been my mentality. Like I really, like, I don't have time to care about what you're doing, dude. Like I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with all of that on top of trying to deal with my own stuff. Like, and that was, you would kind of hit on something that's interesting now. You were talking about like I still have a life outside of this, dude. It's like, they act like this is the most important thing in your life, and it's just like, dude, it's not.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And it was like, and one thing for me that was hard, it was like, everybody that I was around, like, none of them had any kind of job that even resembled the kind of job that I had in terms of the stress levels, the amount of energy and like output it takes, the amount of conversation that it takes, the amount of skill that it takes. And I'm not knocking on anybody who hears this, but for me, it was just like, bro, like y'all like aren't like you guys don't know. Like
Exactly.
like every day I wake up, I go to work, I could kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're working at a desk, like bro, we're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like you don't know like what I'm going through. Like, oh, you work like in a mall, in like a food shop on the side of like the mall. Like, bro, that's not hard. Like,
Hey, we don't do the same thing.
right, but it's like, but they all expect everybody to put out the same sort of energy and the same amount of output, and you know, and the cool thing was is that there really wasn't like any pressure, you know, per se, to go, oh, go build your business super big, or go do this or go do that. I never felt pressured, but the conversations and seeing the output that people were doing, that was the pressure.
Exactly.
Right? They're very strategic in how they do it, right? And that's the thing that really I think bothers me the most about the whole thing, is, you know, it's like they're very strategic in terms of the terminology that they use. They're very strategic in terms of how they say certain things, but it all means the same.
And it's kind of like being disguised as motivation. No, like that's not motivation. That's somebody really putting you down in a very smart way. You're not even noticing that they're putting you down. So, I mean, like you said, that we don't have the same life. And again, like a lot of those girls did not have the job that I had. A lot of them were actually doing this whole thing full time, and great for them that they
Right.
were able to do it full
Absolutely.
time. You know, if you have a partner or you were doing it by yourself, whatever, like great for you. Even greater that you have a partner that supports you and he's fine with you doing this full time. But I didn't have that. I don't have that, and sometimes it would piss me off, me getting home like at 7 o'clock at night sometimes, and I will be getting a message, he's like, are you creating content? Like right now you're home. Like, and they will be like, I know you're home because you just posted a video of your dog, like you should be working on content. It's like, why are you telling me what I should be posting on my own Instagram? Like, I want to post about my dog, if she was doing something cute, you know, like let me post about it. And my owner will be like, oh, but like you need to work on content so you can post it tomorrow. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm actually happy seeing that my dog is doing something cute so it can take my mind off whatever happened throughout the day. I don't have the head capacity right now to be thinking about content for tomorrow. I just want to watch anything trashy on Netflix and go to sleep.
And alrighty, y'all, you just heard it here first. That was episode 16.1 of Sit Down with Natalie. We kind of dove into our initial experiences with kind of MLMs and sort of what our initial impressions were. Check back in on episode 16.2 where we sort of talk about when we sort of made the realization that it wasn't for us. But alrighty, y'all, until next time, we'll see you later.